let us continue with the balcony. We did make a supporting part last time. To finish the railing, add a cube in this area, and scale it down. Press Enter to see the dimension, make it small around 4 cm, and as before, we will select vertices in edit mode, and use the extrude command to extend it around the part needed. I did make it to halfway so we can just copy the other half later. For the railing shape, it's up to you. I will add a couple of cuts on it, then, with edge selection, hit Ctrl B to bevel those edges. After that, we can move this shape up a bit, and extrude the bottom faces between the cuts we made. Again in this part, I will repeat the same thing, so make it as you like. Now, press A to select or and copy it to the opposite side, then, use the mirror command to flip it. And with face selection, connect those two faces with bridge. We also need a glass panel along the railing. Add a plane here, and scale it to fit the railing height. Then with vertices selection, extend it along the part needed. To add some thickness to this plane, we can use the Solidify modifier. But first, apply scale for the mesh with Ctrl A, then, add the Solidify modifier to the plane and make sure to check the even thickness option. We can also add a bevel modifier to the railing to smooth the edges. For the glass panel, copy the Eevee glass to it, and change the material number to make the color different. For the railing part, add a new material, change the surface to glossy, and make the roughness value 0.3. And let us use the same glossy material in the windows. Copy it in any method you like. I will open a new work window and make it on Shades Editor, then, from the railing part, I can copy the glossy node and paste it in any Windows material I need. This bottom part will stay white for now, so delete the materials in it and leave just the stone. The handle will take the same glossy node, and make sure to fix the bottom part materials in the remaining windows. Now, before we do some lightings inside, let us add a wallpaper to the hallway. To do that, as always, we need to select the faces in edit mode and assign them to a new material. In this material, press Shift-A to add an image texture node, open it and select a pattern map you like. I will link down some of those wallpapers that I have, but you can always experiment with other ones. Once you're done with the nodes, and while the face is selected, hit U to unwrap the texture over the walls with cube projection. Now open a new work window, put it on UV editor, and scale the texture down to fit. We can with this method add wallpapers to any of the walls you like. In the kitchen, the kids' bedroom, and behind the TV set in the living room are good places to experiment. So here, in this wall, I will repeat the same process and give it a different pattern. We can also add to it some reflection with the roughness value. Now, to make the ceiling, add a cube here. I did make it 25 centimeters on length. Snap it now to this corner. What we need to do is extend it over each space, one by one, to separate the ceiling over each room. This way, if you want to work on the living room ceiling, the area is already marked with cuts. I will start with the entrance area. Still we need 2 cuts near the bathroom and the main door. So, with Ctrl R, add them in place. Once you're done with that, select the faces from inside the house to start working on them. we are going with something simple here. First, deselect the face on the left and keep the other three highlighted. Then, press I to inset them a bit, and move the resulted faces to the right. After that, with vertices selection, keep only the corners highlighted and press Shift, Ctrl B to bevel those vertices. Now select those faces from inside and extrude them up a bit. Hit Shift R to repeat the last process in the same value. I did extrude them by 3 cm, then with Ctrl+, we can grow selection like shown. Deselect the top faces, and with the right mouse button, choose Extrude along normal to push those highlighted face inside the ceiling. We can now repeat the same process in the face we left. Inset, bevel vertices, extrude the faces up 2 times, and push the resulted faces inside the ceiling. Now normally, we could just give those faces we pushed inside a light material, but with Eevee, the emission won't work unless you're looking at the area, so if you are working with cycles, add to it an emission light material, that will do it. In our case here, I will add some area lights inside the ceiling we made, and for that, make a new collection. Now, from the top view, put the cursor in this area, and hit Shift A to add a light. Rotate it to face the right direction, and scale it to fit. In the light settings, make the color warm a bit, and give the power value of 8. Now with Shift D, copy it to the opposite side and rotate it by 180 degrees. We also need 2 more lights in the top and bottom areas, so copy those 2 again, and scale them down to fit. Switch to render view to see what we have. I think it looks nice for a viewport render. Now, we need to copy those lights to the second part of the ceiling, and scale them to fit. Don't worry about the lights and shadows flickering in the viewport. The final render will remove that. We also need some spotlights in the ceiling. First, I will make a simple spot model. From Add, place a cylinder here, then scale it down to fit a spot size. Then, with Insert and Extrude commands, we can make a simple shape out of it. Once you're done, go to the Material Settings and assign the center face to an emission light. Switch the color to black body to identify light as a temperature. If you're new to black body node, watch this video on it, the arrow will lead you there. I will make the temperature around 3500 and give it a power of 3. For the first material, just change the metallic and roughness values to give it some reflection. Once you're done with the spot, go to Top View, and move it to this corner. Now, from Add, place a spotlight in the same area. In the light settings, make the color warm and up the power to about 25. The radius will make the light edges smoother, and the size will make it cast wider on the wall as shown, so experiment with the size and radius values until it seems fit. Once you're done, select both the light and the spot model to copy them along the ceiling. Switch now to Render View to see what we have. I think this light position in the corner need a bit fixing, so do that if needed. And once you're done, let us see a quick render for the entrance space with both Cycles and Eevee render engines. Now with those simple steps, you can repeat it along any of those spaces you want. That's it for this part guys, see you in the next one, farewell.